So you've been reaching for that handful of peanuts every day, thinking you're making a healthy choice, right? Well, what's actually happening inside your body might surprise you. I'm talking about real science here, actual studies with thousands of participants, and some findings that honestly shocked me when I first read them. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Peanuts aren't actually nuts at all. They're legumes, technically closer to lentils than almonds. But nutritionally speaking, they pack a similar punch to tree nuts. And that's what matters for your body. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you eat peanuts daily, one of the first things that happens is your heart starts getting some serious benefits. And I'm not talking about minor improvements. A massive study followed over 200,000 people from different parts of the world, from Savannah all the way to Shanghai. The results? People who regularly ate peanuts were 21% less likely to die from any cause over about 5 years in the American group, and 17% less likely in the Chinese groups. That's huge when you think about it. But why? Peanuts are loaded with monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats that actually help lower your bad cholesterol while raising your good cholesterol. A recent meta-analysis found that peanut consumption significantly decreased triglycerides in the blood and improved cholesterol ratios in healthy people. We're talking about measurable changes in your blood chemistry just from eating a small amount daily. Here's something that surprised even the researchers. When they looked at young, healthy people who ate peanuts daily for 6 months, they found improvements in vascular health. Their blood vessels were functioning better, showing enhanced ability to prevent blood clots and improve blood flow. And speaking of blood flow, there's this brand new study that literally just came out. Researchers gave older adults between 60 and 75 about 60 grams of unsalted peanuts every day for 16 weeks. They used specialized MRI technology to measure what was happening in their brains. The result? Blood flow to the brain increased by nearly 4% overall, with even stronger improvements in gray matter, the part of your brain responsible for memory, emotions, and decision-making. Think about that for a second. Something as simple as eating peanuts daily improved blood circulation to their brains. Now let's talk about weight. You'd think eating something with 160 calories per ounce would make you gain weight, right? Wrong. Multiple studies have shown something counterintuitive. When people added peanuts to their daily diet, they didn't gain the expected weight. Why? It comes down to satiety. Peanuts contain about 7 grams of protein per ounce, along with fiber and healthy fats. And this combination makes you feel fuller longer. Your body naturally compensates by eating less of other foods. Throughout the day, one 6-month study found that women who replaced other fats with peanuts in their low-fat diet actually lost almost 7 pounds, even though they weren't specifically trying to lose weight. Let me tell you what happens to your diabetes risk. This is where things get really interesting. Women at high risk for heart disease who ate peanuts or a tablespoon of peanut butter 5 or more days a week nearly cut their heart attack risk in half compared to women who rarely ate them. But beyond heart health, studies found that regular peanut consumption reduced the risk of type 2 diabetes by about 25%. The mechanism? Peanuts contain magnesium and dietary fiber, both shown to improve blood sugar control. They also have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar. One study found that adding just 32 grams of peanut butter to a high glycemic meal reduced the overall blood glucose response in healthy adults. Here's where I need you to really pay attention, because this is important. Your body needs to manage inflammation, and chronic inflammation is linked to virtually every major disease. You can think of heart disease, diabetes, certain cancers. Peanuts are packed with antioxidants, and when researchers measured markers of inflammation in people who regularly ate peanuts, they found significantly lower levels of C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, both key indicators of inflammation in your body. And here's something most people don't know. Peanuts contain all 20 essential amino acids your body needs, plus something called coenzyme Q10, which your cells need to multiply and stay healthy. Researchers believe this combination helps prevent disease and may actually promote longevity. A large-scale study found that people who consumed nuts daily, including peanuts, were 20% less likely to die of any cause than people who didn't eat nuts. Now, before you rush out and buy 10 pounds of peanuts, we need to talk about the other side. Because yes, there are legitimate concerns you should know about. If you found this information helpful so far, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this content. And honestly, this stuff matters for your health. First, let's address the elephant in the room: allergies. Peanut allergies are among the most common and most dangerous food allergies globally. Even minimal exposure can trigger anaphylaxis in sensitive individuals, which can be life-threatening. If you have any history of peanut sensitivity, this obviously isn't for you. Second concern: aflatoxins. This is something most people have never heard of, but it's real. Peanuts can sometimes be contaminated with a mold that produces aflatoxins, which are carcinogenic compounds. The risk depends heavily on how peanuts are stored. Warm, humid conditions, especially in tropical climates, increase contamination risk. Most manufacturers test for this, but it's worth buying quality brands and storing your peanuts properly in cool, dry conditions. Third, and this matters if you're watching your sodium intake, salted peanuts can contain over 400 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams. If you have heart conditions or high blood pressure, you need to stick with unsalted varieties. The American Heart Association recommends limiting sodium to 2,300 milligrams per day, and heavily salted peanuts can eat up that limit fast. Here's another thing. While peanuts are nutrient-dense, they're also calorie-dense. 1 ounce has about 160 calories. If you're not paying attention to portions, it's incredibly easy to overeat. I've seen people mindlessly munch through a whole bag while watching TV, consuming well over 1,000 calories without realizing it. Portion control matters. Peanuts also contain compounds called oxalates, which can bind with calcium and potentially contribute to kidney stone formation in susceptible individuals. If you have a history of kidney stones, you need to monitor your intake carefully. And for some people, peanuts can cause digestive discomfort, bloating, or indigestion, especially in large quantities. If you have conditions like inflammatory bowel disease, peanuts might actually worsen symptoms. So what's the bottom line? What should you actually do with this information? Here's what the evidence suggests. For most healthy adults, eating about 1 ounce of unsalted peanuts daily, roughly a smallie, handful, or about 28 peanuts, appears to offer significant health benefits without major risks. That's the amount used in many of these studies. Choose unsalted, skin-on roasted peanuts when possible. The papery skin contains additional antioxidants and phytochemicals. Avoid heavily salted or sugar-coated varieties that add unnecessary sodium and calories. Store them properly in a cool, dry place to minimize any risk of mold contamination. If you have any existing health conditions, allergies, take blood-thinning medications, or you're pregnant, talk to your doctor before making peanuts a daily habit. And remember, variety matters in nutrition. Peanuts shouldn't be your only protein source or your only nut. Rotate them with almonds, walnuts, and other nuts to get a broader range of nutrients. The research is pretty clear. For most people, moderate daily peanut consumption can reduce heart disease risk, improve brain blood flow, help with weight management, lower diabetes risk, and potentially extend your lifespan. But like anything in nutrition, context matters. Your individual health status, how you prepare them, how much you eat, and whether you combine them with an otherwise healthy diet all play a role. The science on peanuts is actually stronger than I expected when I started researching this. But the key word throughout all these studies is moderation. A handful a day, not a whole jar. If this video changed how you think about peanuts, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos where we dive deep into the real science behind everyday foods. Drop a comment below and let me know. Are you team peanuts or have you been avoiding them? I'd love to hear your experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.